Hey, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be playing with a palette that I have had in my possession for probably at least a week and have not been able to play with it yet. And I can't wait any longer. We have got to dig into it, and it is the Ensley Reign Harvest Moon palette. Oh, just look at the gorgeous artwork, and the true magic is what is inside. Oh my gosh. Look at that. I don't know if on camera it does it as much justice. I only have my monitor to go by, but this is just stunning. I have yet to ever try Ensley Reign, and I have been dying to for quite some time. I've always just heard the most amazing things about the brand and the shadow formula, especially just how magical the shimmers are. And when this palette got sneaked, I just knew right away I had to finally just bite the bullet and go for it. It's not the most affordable brand ever, but given the amount of really special shades that are in a palette, I'm not shocked. It does cost a lot more money to produce shades like that, so that makes sense. It's going to be more expensive, but I thought we would dig in, have some fun. If you've been curious about the brand too, maybe this will help you decide whether or not you're ready to finally give them a try. If you have the palette, maybe you'll find some inspiration in whatever look I end up creating, and just maybe we'll just have some fun enjoying makeup. So yeah, let's just stop with the rambling and get into this. Also, little side note, I have switched up my filming yet again. I am trying to take advantage of utilizing my DSLR camera, so my husband helped me with finagling up some sort of rig to use my iPad and a program and a connection so that I could use that as a monitor, which is why I haven't used my DSLR for filming before, because it doesn't have one of those pop-out monitors, so it's really hard to tell if I'm in frame. So hopefully this is better quality. I went from filming on my phone to trying a camcorder to now trying this. So I'm hoping this works, because I would really love to utilize this expensive camera that I own and also just try to provide the best quality I can to you all, so it's more enjoyable to watch the video. Anyways, no more rambling. Now we're going to the look. I almost forgot to apply blush. I like to apply blush before I do my shadows. So with this look, I thought I would go in with one of my favorites, Ensley Cosmetics Matte Blush in Hazy. I'm so sad they discontinued these blushes. I'm hoping they're coming back like in a palette, hopefully, Ensley Cosmetics, because they're absolutely amazing, and it is not a formula that they should be discontinuing by any means. I love a matte blush, and this is a fabulous formula, and they had such amazing shades. I don't know what ones are still available. This specific shade, Hazy, I know is not available anymore, at least the last time I checked, but if you can get your hands on some still, especially at a discount, like, take advantage of that. Anyways, I'm going to take that on a Luxie 504 large angled brush, and I'm just going to start tapping that on the outside. I like my blush, so I go, at least to me, this is looking blush heavy. I don't know if it's coming across that way on camera, but we are definitely going in. I guess just while I put this on, I'm just kind of commenting on where I've been. Unfortunately, I've just been suffering from some different health things, and I just have not been in a both physical and mental place to do much content, like either on here or on any of my other platforms, Instagram and TikTok. So unfortunately, there hasn't really been a whole lot of new content coming from me, but I'm hoping as I'm starting to feel better and things are starting to settle down that will change. If anyone's ever interested in like a bit more of like a chit chat get ready with me, let me know. I can definitely do a video just playing with some makeup and focusing more on just chatting about kind of life, you know, anything like that. If you have any specific questions for me, feel free to leave them in a comment down here, or even on my Instagram or TikTok. But yeah, just hopefully this is the start to a bit more consistent scheduling, because I was doing good for a little while there and sort of, I feel like, fell off track, but we're getting there. So that is done. Blush is on. I'll probably put on some highlight after. I don't feel like I have to have that on before I go in with my look. So dipping into the palette now, I feel like I really want to play with these matte shades, Chilly, Spooky Season, and Phantom. Who knows, I might not end up doing all three because they all are kind of like medium to dark shades. That's the only thing I would say about this palette is being especially a fair skinned person, just the lightness, like it would just be nice if there was like a little bit more lightness. But at the same time, I feel like if you take the time and blend, you can finesse most shades to blend out nicely without needing lighter shades to do it for you. The lighter shades just make it easier, smoother for sure, and just, you know, just a bit nicer, at least in my opinion. But I still think we can work with this. So yeah, I'm going to get started on those. I think I'm going to do this sort of halo style. That's just, sorry, it's my go-to style. And I just getting back into this after not doing any makeup for like a week. I just really want to do what's comfortable. So I'm going to go in with what I feel like is the darkest of those three, and it's Phantom. And I have already applied some eye base to my eyes. I used the Key Louise base, Rumor 0.5. Anyways. And I'm going to take that on this Morphe JS11. Hard thing when you normally wear glasses, I can see for doing my makeup, but trying to read the little writing on these brushes is difficult. Anyways, I'm going to pat that in on both the inner and outer corner. Start creating that sort of halo. Bring it a lot of the way in. I'm not really worrying about fully connecting it in the middle. Ooh, I love the tone of this. So far, speaking for the matte, it's just beautiful. Going from there, we are going to, I really should, I've said this in the past, pick out my brushes beforehand. Alright, this is another Morphe. It's a JH40, I think, if I'm reading that correctly. And I'm going to dip into Spooky Season. Just tap that off lightly. And I'm just going to lightly put that around Phantom. As expected, these shades really go just beautifully together. Be interested to see whether or not that Chilly shade works how I hope it will. Like, I was hoping it'd be a lighter complementary shade to these ones, but we'll just have to see. And then from there, we'll grab this. I actually don't, oh, I think this is yeah, it's a Real Techniques 305. It's from like this like kind of older, I think, holiday collection. And we're going to dip into Chilly. Again, tap that off. I'm trying to go in, like, I can be somewhat heavy-handed with my eyeshadow, so I am trying to go in slightly light-handed just to help blend out and fluff out and not apply, especially like now that I'm on like what I consider the lightest shade. I don't want to get too out of control. Just lightly dab into that again. Loving the way that this is blending out. These are beautiful mattes. Like, they really perform so wonderfully. And see, like, none of those shades were particularly light, but I'm getting a really beautiful blend out. So, you know, I think as long as you just be careful, you mind what brush you're using. So obviously, like, to get a more diffused, fluffy kind of like sort of diffused blend, use a more fluffy brush. Obviously also keeping in mind your eye size, you know, don't go so big that you lose control. And then use something, you're using something more flat, like a packing brush, shader brush, to pack on the pigmentation. And I'll just kind of switch back and forth between doing some sort of swirls, some back and forth, and then even just some feathering out. And I'm just gonna, again, feather that out into the blush. That's another reason why I like going heavier with my blush, just because I like the whole sort of blush draping sort of a vibe. Alright, so I'm going to go back in, and all I'm going to do is just go back and forth between all the shades until I have a blend that I feel works great for me. So I will probably just sort of fast forward through that part and then catch up the other eye, and then we'll go from there. Before I go catch up the other eye, I'm done, I feel like, getting the depth and blend that I want on this eye, and I just have to say, wow, I am really impressed. These mattes blended out like a dream. This is probably one of the best matte formulas I feel like I've used, and so not only was I super stoked about the shimmers in this palette, but I'm now super stoked about their matte formula, so just want to point that out. So both eyes are caught up. Now let's work on the lower lash line. I think I'm just gonna more or less be repeating what shades I have used already. So I'm going to dip first into Phantom, and I'm going to use this little kind of packer brush, and it's just a Morphe. It doesn't actually have a name on it because I think it's just from one of their holiday collections. And I'm just going to dip the tip of that into Phantom, and I'm just going to start running that right up against my lash line. I think I'm just going to bring it about that far in. And then I'm actually just going to reuse the same brush I used for this shade, and I'm going to go back into Spooky Season, and I'm just going to start to lightly blend on top of that. Just like that. And then I'm not going to use the same brush because I think it's a little too big, but I'm using sort of, I guess, a biggish blending brush for the lower lash. But this is a Luxie 121 Mini Tapered, and I'm going to dip lightly back into Chili, and I'm just going to buff that out. So like I said, really just using the same 3 shades. Again, going deepest to lightest. That's how I roll. Back into Phantom. I feel like I need a bit more depth, specifically in this corner. And just back in with that last brush, just to blend it out a bit. On to a really exciting part, shimmers. So, before applying the shimmers, I always put on some NYX glitter glue, and I am going to do that this time too. I'm just taking this on like a little nameless, flat, rounded brush. I'm not even sure where I got this from. And I'm going to take a little bit of the glitter glue and just start stamping that in the middle. And sort of just off onto the mat a bit too. And then going directly in with that brush, I think my plan is I want to play with Ghost Moon and also Wishful Thinking. So those 2 shades. I am going to go in with Ghost Moon first. It's the only tricky thing with working with like multi-chromes is like from one angle, like they look like they're gonna mesh this way, and then from another angle, they look like they're gonna mesh that way. So hopefully this works out, but I guess we'll find out. So I'm just gonna take this and stamp this shade on either side, still leaving a bit of space in the very middle. Ooh. These are beautiful. And I'm just going to flip that brush over and dip directly into Wishful Thinking, and I'm just going to drag that down the middle. I wonder if gorgeous shifts are coming off. I hope they're coming off as beautifully as they are to me. And just because I want to add a little bit of extra dimension, I guess, to this, I don't know what word I'm looking for. I'm just dipping my pinky into the shade Foliage. I don't know if it's going to like really zoom in, probably not. Anyway, still figuring out this camera. I'm going to just dab that in the very center towards the bottom, just to really create that highlight effect. Yeah, just like that. Just to amp up the highlight a little bit more. Ooh, love that. All right, I think I want to like play with one more shimmer. Maybe I'll just take Foliage and I'll, I can't make up my mind. Do I want Foliage or do I want Hunter's Moon? Decisions. Okay, I think I'm going to go in with Hunter's Moon, but I need a little bit more glitter glue. So I'm actually taking another one of these little brushes, and I'm just going to put a little too much, so I'm going to put that on my other eye, and I'm just going to spread this out so it's off my brush, and stamp that in my lower lash, and then I'm going to dip into Hunter's Moon. And I'm just going to bring that inner corner, and then I think I'm going to dip again a little into Foliage and put that in like the very inner. It's almost like a shooting star is how it looks to me. It's got this beautiful like golden and then like this tail of shimmer coming out of it. Alright, something like that. Let's catch up the other eye. Alright, here it is, the finished look. What do we think? So to finish off with, I went in with my Ensley Cosmetics Satin Liquid Lip in Diana. For the lower lash, I went in with the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Pencil in Alkaline. Just love that for my waterline. I also went in with these Ioni half lashes. It's obviously a new pair. They're just like a nice half lash. This is called Full Foxy Drama. I don't know if the collection's called Halfling Lashes. My Dollar Tree is always kind of really behind in like what the current, I think, releases are with that brand. So I'm not sure if they're even still available, but if you like half lashes, I recommend checking out your local Dollar Tree to find those ones. On my face, I went in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Cream Highlight in Pink Diamond. It's just beautiful, like pinky golden kind of shade, and topped that with the Kaleidos Space Age Prophecy highlighter. It's just gorgeous, multi-chromatic highlight, and I just thought, you know, we're playing multi-chromes, why not go all in? The palette. I am so happy to have finally gotten to try Ensley Reign Cosmetics. This is gorgeous. I am just absolutely obsessed and in love with this palette. I had so much fun with it, and I already can't wait to play with it again. The shimmers, as expected, just blew my mind. Like, I get what the hype is around the shimmers, and the mattes were just so surprisingly amazing. Like, they are so buttery smooth. I don't know if their matte formula has always been like this, or if this is just, you know, a newer thing. I don't know how to judge. First time trying the brand, but I had the most wonderful time working with it. It was so easy to use and like blended out like a dream, as you saw. So yeah, just first thoughts on the palette. It was so much fun to work with. Definitely, you know, it is a higher end. I would put this in like luxury indie kind of makeup, to me anyways, you know. It costs around, I think, $125 Canadian, and that's not including like shipping and customs and all of that. I don't regret purchasing the palette. I am so happy to have my hands on it, but it's definitely a purchase that you have to think about. It's not just done lightly, and it's because of that, it's not a brand that I'm going to be able to purchase from every time they have a release, which is too bad because they come out with amazing things, and now that I've tried their formula, I want every release that they've ever done and are coming out with. They just came out with a Twisted Tea Party collection, so if this one wasn't your cup of tea, maybe this one would have been. It's not, I think it's currently like sold out, like it's on pre-order, which I think does tend to happen with this brand a lot. Like their initial launch does sell out really fast. And so even the Harvest Moon palette is on pre-order right now. But if it's a brand you've been interested in, if you really love multi-chromes and those kinds of shadows, the hype is there for a reason with this brand. So I say you can't go wrong with it as long as it's something that you feel is within your budget and what you can do. Obviously, we all have to make our own decisions for that. But I hope you had fun watching me create this look, play with a new to me brand, and just, you know, have fun with some makeup. So if you enjoyed this video, I would greatly appreciate it if you would give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and even consider subscribing. I'd love to have you along for more videos. I plan on doing more of my Spooky Shadows series, even going past like Halloween. Like, I want to play with all my spooky palettes, and unfortunately just the way the month's been going and stuff, and the fact that I also have a full-time job and 2 young kids, I can only film so much. So I'm going to continue on with that. Hopefully people are interested in continuing to see me play with my spooky shadow palettes, but yeah, just having fun with it. So if you enjoyed this, I hope you come back for more, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!